Hi, everyone. My name is Natalia Hale, and I am the founder and the CEO of Invest Young Money. We also run as a nonprofit under IYM Incorporation. And the purpose of the organization is to teach youth and young adults about financial literacy. So, again, welcome to my channel. Um, this is really my first YouTube video, so thanks for attending, and please like and subscribe. So first, like I said, my name is Natalia Hill, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself and how I began my journey of financial awareness. So I began working in high school, and like the normal teenager, I spent my money on clothes and food and hanging out and just making sure that my car was clean and that my stereo system was good. I attended Portland State University in Portland, Oregon, and my freshman year of college, I got pregnant. And so, therefore, because of that, I was thrust into having to be responsible for another human being. So I began to research what should I be doing with my money, and how am I going to be able to protect this human being that I'm bringing into this world? Because all I ever saw my parents do was pay bills. So I began to like write down my bills and my expenses, and quickly realized that I only had like $20 left to stretch for a 2 week biweekly paycheck. So that wasn't gonna cut it. So what I did next was I found a job during college, and I was doing like typing 10 key at night, and I was going to school full time, and it was just realizing the money was not going to be enough to sustain. So I really had to finish my college degree. And so I was going to school for criminal justice at the time. And I said, well, I just need to make sure I got a degree so that I can, get out here and make good money and not have to live off minimum wage, which at the time might have been like maybe 5.25, maybe in $4. I'm not sure. So again, so I was in college. I went and visited like a college job board, and I found where I'm currently working at, which is for the Department of Labor, and it was my first job, and I've been there for 24 years now. And so my first house at 24 years old for $126,000. And don't forget, I was a single parent with a kid. It felt good at the time, like I was achieving the American dream. But guess what? I was still struggling, living paycheck to paycheck. I met my husband and we got married at 27 years old. And I kept doing this budgeting thing, or so I thought, for a few years, but I wasn't really making any traction. The reason I wasn't making any traction is because I was just paying some bills, part of the bill, maybe all of the bills, but it just felt like I just had nothing left after buying, food and paying for daycare, of course. So now being married at 27 is the two of us, and we were doing the same thing. Paying bills, not really knowing where our money was going. Sometimes half a bill got paid, sometimes all of it got paid, and it just, like I said, it just wasn't working. So at the age of 32, I tried budgeting again, and I start Googling and reading to find out, how to get out of debt. Just trying to be able to live like a comfortable lifestyle and ultimately get out of the rat race of just working from paycheck to paycheck and being a W-2 wage earner. So we began like budgeting consistently and having bi-weekly budget meetings and just holding each other more accountable as far as what we were doing, what we said we were going to do, and actually putting it on paper and actually doing it before actually going out and spending any fun money and just, So finally, at the age of 36, we said, you know what? I'm working this W 2 job at 40 hours a week. And at the rate that I'm going, I don't even know if I'm going to have enough money to retire when I even turn 65. So we start thinking like outside of the bubble, like, well, what can we do? So I always enjoy like learning and reading about stocks and bonds and real estate. And so I said, you know what? Let's see if we can buy our first property. So what we did was we took it was $15,000 out of my retirement account and said, let's just see if we can buy one paid off property, one deed at a time. and see if we can work towards getting out of this rat race and having a consistent paycheck from a tenant paying us. So that's what we started doing about 5 years ago. And it's just like, let's just get one. So we were lucky enough to get our first property, paid about $6,000 for it at the time, and came down here and it's like, you know what? This property need a lot of work. So we were working with a realtor, and he asked me, he's like, well, would you rather have your money come from trying to get a bank loan through, just a regular bank and have to submit like all this paperwork, or would you rather work with like a hard money lender? So my husband was like, okay, we'll do the hard money lender. And I'm like, the bank, not thinking about that's the hard way to go about it. So, anyways, we ended up working with a wonderful hard money lender, and he was able to fund our second property. And the property that we had purchased, we only had to put $20,000 down 20% down on the purchase price of a property. So where we live, of course, if we were buying something for 20,000, we only had to put down $2,000, and then of course pay maybe like $500 in closing costs. So it was really a huge deal, and it helped accelerate our plan for buying real estate. And instead of just saying, "Oh, we're just going to buy one deed at a time and spend like 20, 30,000 on one property," you're able to do that and buy multiple properties. So again, this is our 5 year journey of really getting structured and just understanding like the power of real estate and the power of investing in the stock market to be able to really replace our, at least my W-2 job. And he's self-employed, which is doing more of like the rehab work, and then managing properties for only ourselves, but other investors as well. So again, we really didn't begin budgeting seriously until somewhere between me being like 32 and 36. And what I didn't tell you is from the time I graduated college up into this point of becoming like an active real estate investor and a stock investor, along with my full time job, and of course, starting this company of Invest Young to teach other people financial literacy and better money habits, and just having like the basic skills of understanding where do I start, because I might not have nobody that I can learn from. But prior to that, we had been through having my husband had a fresh bankruptcy on his credit. We had a car repossessed. We just had collections and low credit scores, and we just had like no freaking idea like what we were doing. So, just realizing now in hindsight and looking back that when we moved to Georgia, we bought a house that was the typical Georgia house, 5 bedroom, 3 bathrooms, beautiful. So realizing, okay, we bought a house and it's beautiful and it's huge and it has lots of room, but guess what? It takes a lot to be able to maintain and afford a house like that. So you not only are you heating it, you're paying big water bills, big electric bills, and you got big maintenance bills if anything goes wrong, and you also have like big landscaping bills. And so sometimes what we've learned over the years is that bigger is not always better. So going from college till now, like I said, there was periods of time that we just feel scared, and when the cars and stuff was getting repossessed, and it's like, what are we going to do? And so we just really start realizing we have to be able to handle our money for us and be able to pass on to our kids and our grandkids what that looks like, and just really being a model of what that looks like, instead of just saying, hey, do this, do that, in one ear, out the other. So again, first of all, it shed light on all our bad spending habits. We had to really look in the mirror and say, what have we been doing and where are we going? And just really having a period of just really checking in on yourself and saying, hey, you're making really, really dumb decisions. And just realizing that you want more out of life. And sometimes it's not always easy to just find people that can just talk, just on a straight level of without being all masters and graduate and doctors, and just saying like, hey, just tell me, what do you think worked for you? Any advice that I can give, I'm willing to give. I am not a financial advisor. So please, consult with one. But again, if I can help somebody out from even any of the pitfalls or struggles that we have been through, I will do it. Because of this system and because of being able to be more organized and more self-disciplined, we've been able to work for like and planning on our short-term goals as well as our long-term life goals. So I am more, like I said, better prepared for emergencies. We got one going off to college that we're better prepared for, one that's in private school, and still being able to plan for like our retirement, vacations, and just ultimately keeping the eye on the prize and understanding what is our why and why are we doing what we're doing. So as you like and join and subscribe, I hope that you follow me and you can you continue this journey with me of learning how to build better budgeting habits, better spending habits, how to plan and just really change like your family tree and your family life. As my kids say, let's go.